Hi there, this is Art and Such, and today I'm going to show you how to make a braided 3-strand wire necklace with beads. You can use any kind of beads really, but the larger and rounder the better, and I would suggest you have a variety of 2 to 3 kinds of beads, if not more. You're going to want a sturdy crochet hook, and I'm using one with a really large head. It's really up to you what you prefer. I will be using a couple of these little pieces to finish off the ends. The wires will go through them and it makes it a little cleaner. If you have them, go ahead and use them. And you will want something in the way of a clasp to put at the end. For beads, in this project I'm using these long marbleized pieces, some small round black ones, and some little green ones. And for the wire, we have a thick piece. It has to be sturdy enough that it won't break, but malleable enough that you can flex it and bend it and work with it. You want to make sure you don't have too many kinks in that wire to begin with. And I'm also going to be using a measuring tape. Now this is so that I can keep my pieces even. I've made 2 already, and I will be making the 3rd one with you, so you'll know how to go about it. And for my first 2 pieces, I made each one 13 inches long, was the length of the beads on the wire. That was the length of the beads on the wire before I started crocheting. So this is going to be a little bit short for a necklace, but you'll see how this is done. For yours, you'll probably want to use about 16 inches worth of beads on the wire. And I'm going to start on this last piece to show you how it goes. So first we thread them on. And you'll see I'm going to alternate my different kinds of beads here. Now all of these, I just went to a secondhand store and I got a couple of necklaces, cut them off. It's a really good source of beads if you're ever in a fix. Some of you might have some nice ones already that you're looking for an excuse to use. Whatever you have at your disposal that can work for this, just make sure you have a lot of each kind. And actually I wanted to make sure that I had enough to go for all of these, so what I did when I first got the beads ready was I divided it into 3 groups, and that way I knew I would definitely have an even distribution across my 3 wires. You can see the source of the wire, like the base, this is all still together. We aren't going to cut anything yet. Let's keep putting them on. When you think it might be long enough for you, you like the way it looks, you can measure it and jot that down. I'm going to do some more here myself. This is what I've got so far. I'm going to keep going until it's a little bit longer here. I think we're getting close to the point where we can measure this. This is a design my mother showed me how to do actually a couple of years back, and I went crazy with it for a while, put it aside, and I thought this was a good time to revisit this. Okay, let's see how long this is so far. I'm going to bring it from end to end. We have about 10 and a half. I'm going to do maybe 2 more sets of the beads, and that might be enough. Now you can always make 1 or 2 of your strands longer than the others, and you can even keep the pieces separate. I like the way it looks braided, so that's, as I said, what we're going to do here. But this is definitely something you can play around with. So I have 13 inches. Yours might be a little bit longer. When you're ready, you're going to turn it around so that the loose end, the one that isn't attached to anything, is here on the right side. We're going to leave a little bit of space and wrap it once around the wire. Now we're going to pull this piece of the wire, the one closest to the top, under the other one. Still kind of loose here. It's okay, we're going to make it a bit tighter. Pull your first bead down so that it's next to the hook, and leaving this a little bit loose, you're going to bring your wire around the back and to the front. And you're going to get this wire under the one that's further down on the hook. Pull it down a little bit. Stretch all the beads back. You want to have lots of room to work here. If you've got any kinks, just carefully loosen it up. Now you can put your next bead on and crochet straight through the beads. I'm going to leave a space in between. So what I'll do is take the wire, wrap it under again, and bring it through the bottom wires. Now we bring the next bead down. I'll start moving a little faster as we go, but we'll start off slow. Bring your next bead down, hold it there, wrap the wire around, pull your first wire closest to the end under the second one, which is lower down on your hook. And again, we'll do it without the bead. So wrap it around just the wire, pull your closer wire under your second wire. And you're starting to see the pattern. I'll go through a couple more times and then we'll speed her up. Bring your bead down, pull your wire around from the back, pull the one under the other. And you can see I've got a really large one here. That makes it a little bit more awkward for me. This is why I suggested small or medium-sized to large round beads. The shape is a lot nicer to work with. If you do have beads with a different shape to them though, they are gonna pop out the side and give you a different effect. That's the only consideration here. Okay, we're gonna slide that down a little, bring the wire around, bring it through. It's really tight here on mine, it's okay. Pull your next bead down, wrap the wire, pull it under the second wire. Now, just the wire, wrap it around, pull it under. And we're essentially going to do this until we get to the end. So bead wrap, wire wrap. We're always coming around the back from towards the right side. Bead, another one of my awkward ones here. And around just the wire. And you'll see as I'm going, to keep this loose and flowing, I'm stretching the beads back and the wire base back to the far side. Bead down, wire around, pull it through. Just the wire. When you get to the end of this, if you're there before me, what you're going to be doing, I'll show you presently, is kind of wrapping your wire in, giving it a bit of a trim, but leaving some space, and then you can start onto your next strand. This is just the wire this time. It can take a little bit of time, but once you get in the kind of in the flow of it, it moves more smoothly. You can see some of these, I've kept them a little bit too tight, and that's what's causing this sort of friction here. You want a little bit of looseness, because if it's too tight, it's all gonna kind of stick together. And the looser it is, the more wire you're gonna see in between the beads. So there's a sort of a balance, a happy medium you're going for. And this is what it looks like right now. And we'll keep going. I think we're a little more than halfway there on this one. You can use really small beads in this for this design as well. I have one, and here you can see this one has some very little beads mixed in with the large ones. It takes longer to do, and you'll get a slightly different effect, but it's all good, and either way will work for you, I'm sure. If you miss one of the wire wraps and put two beads too close together, don't worry about it. It's all going to be braided together at the end, and then the little imbalances are not going to show. It's going to actually add to the effect. I'm going to measure this to my other pieces when I feel that I'm close to done, and we'll just make sure that they're of similar lengths. Almost there. I don't know if you can see this, the wire that I'm using, it's the color's coming off onto my fingers there. It's a little old kind of wire, I guess. Should get some new stuff. Now I hope when you're giving these adjustments and you're tugging, you're being firm but gentle, because if you do have a thinner wire, it's not going to hold up to too much pressure. This is a really strong one I'm working with, which is also why it's a little bit tighter to move around here. I imagine this would work well with string too. I don't think I've ever tried that, but that might be worth experimenting with. If this is getting close, and we'll keep going if we need to. Almost. Let's have another look after this black one. I'm just going to leave the last one as a wire twist here. See if we're good. Sort of springy, this stuff, huh? I'm going to do one more bead, and then I think this should be all set. And I'll show you how you can attach all the pieces, and then we're pretty well done. Okay, the last one is wire under wire. And we're going to grab some scissors. Leave a little bit of space and trim the end. You can take your hook out now, and we're going to just bring the wire through so that it's kind of knotted there. Now take your 3 strands together, pause your video and make them, get them ready, and take your 3 strands, pinch them at the top, twist it around really nice and tight. If you have one of these nice cover pieces, or even a bead, you could use a bead if you wanted to. We're going to run these all through it. Get your clasp, whatever kind you're using, and run your wires through. Flip it around, bring it back through your cover piece. Wrap it all in. You can trim it if you have some nice wire cutters or pinchers. I do have some, but I forgot to have them handy, so I'm actually just going to trim it with the scissors for now. You can also use a nail clipper if you're really desperate for something. So there is one end finished. Now we really want to secure this to something when we're braiding it, but I'm gonna do this loose for now and just walk you through it. So it's a basic braid now. We have our rows separate. We're gonna take the one at the side, bring it over to the middle. Take the one from the left side, bring it over to the middle. Keep it a little bit tight but even. I'm holding this here as we go. Take the one on the right, bring it over and into the middle. The one on the left, over and inwards to the middle. And we keep going right in, left in. Right inwards, left inwards. Right inwards. You can do this as tight or as loose as you want, but try to be consistent. Right inwards, left, and we go right to the end. If our measurements are correct, then these should line up very nicely when we're right towards the end. If not, we can give something an extra twist or take off a bead or add a bead, but I think we'll be okay. How about that? This didn't quite line up. We'll take just a little bit off here. And I'm going to give this an extra wrap. Now here we are at our far end. We're going to take the end pieces, the end wires, twist them together nice and tight, and we're repeating what we did on the other side. Cut some of that excess. Go around. Oh, let's put it through our little end cap piece here. Get all of your 3 wires through. Now bring it around, get that clasp, come through it with your wires. And the way that it works will, of course, depend on the kind of clasp that you're using. Bring your wires back through. And we'll finish this off and we'll be all done. As I said, this one's a really short one, but you'll get the idea and you can tailor the length now for any kind of necklace that you'd like, or bracelet for that matter. We're going to push this up and pull it down a little more. I want this to go a little closer, so I'm going to bring it up more and then we'll pull it down again. Can take a bit of fiddling this part. If you do have, as I said, some kind of thin pliers, and that can certainly be a help in getting the pieces organized. Put it into place, wrap it around a little bit. Once it's secure, give it a trim. Hopefully your wire matches your clasps. That's really the ideal. I'm going to straighten it out some more in a minute, but you can see the finished product now. This would make a lovely necklace or a really tight choker, or you can go and make a really long one. So that is your 3-strand braided beaded crochet necklace, and I thank you for watching.